Starting off with Angle, where there seems to be a bit of flurry of interest. Not really sure whether the chart is actually telling us that much, apart from the shares bouncing off this falling RSI support line from back in August, and I suppose the double bottom for the stock at 71. At least there's a trade in there, or potential trade above 71, maybe up towards the low 80s as an initial target, just from the very oversold area that we are at the moment. But RSI around 20. So there's normally a reaction from that, but otherwise sort of intriguing situation, let's say, at the moment. There is some old support, 1 year support for the shares in the low 70s, and maybe that's what the stock is currently looking at. On to a rather easier situation, or we hope is something which is rather easier, Bushveld. Here you can see that we have pushed higher towards the preordained target around 14 pence. I think one could probably upgrade it a little bit, moving or sliding the resistance line projection a bit higher, so maybe 15 pence over the next, say, couple of weeks, especially while we hold above 12 pence, which was the old sort of post-September resistance for the stock. So looking quite good there for Bushveld, and perhaps much more than 15 pence on tap. You can see that old gap there from June around 15 and a quarter, so that seems to be a decent, or could be a decent, target for the shares. Onto a stock that I don't think I've covered before here at all, but maybe I could stand corrected on that. We've got Coates gapping up here through 62, 63p, and gap down before, so that's like a bear trap gap reversal. We're looking for, or we can see the break of that resistance line there also from back in January, and we're looking for the shares to achieve a target perhaps towards that line of resistance that I've just drawn now from October, as high as 78 pence, something like that, by the end of the month. But obviously not a great short-term trading chart, but just seems to be quite lively today. CPO prices have gone up according to I think a Reuters report, and that seems to have helped, well, actually certainly has helped Deckel Agrivision. Here you can see there's finally been the breakout through 5.25 pence that maybe people were waiting on for over a year, I think, probably. So that is a decent win. What's interesting now is that makes the whole pattern that we've had over the course of 2021 look like a very strong sideways consolidation. That would suggest that we're looking for a top of, what's that, 2020 price channel, as high as 10 pence. Something like that. Actually, I suppose we're going up to 9 pence on that price channel top. So 9 pence over the next month or so, while we hold above 5.25. That would seem to be a reasonable target. Although, given the extent and the extended consolidation that we've had, probably 9 pence is the minimum on the upside that we will see over the near term. Interesting chart here from Image Scan, which maybe doesn't look that great, but we've had looks like we had the flush out for on the stock below 1.5 pence. Little U-shaped reversal here, and the shares, if they get an end of day close back above the top of the gap at 1.96, which it looks like they will get, then we could fill the gap up to 3 pence by the end of the month. So looking pretty healthy there for Image Scan as a rather sort of quirky turnaround situation. Quite a few falling knives in the market, and they're always very, very difficult. Obviously wonderful when they go right, but not so good otherwise. Here we've got McCall's, which is bounced off bounced higher than the low yesterday. So yesterday's low there at the 1.2 pence level, and above that, I suppose we're looking towards maybe 2.8, which is the resistance on, or 2.7, 2.8, which is resistance on the way down. But obviously this is a horrible falling knife situation. The RSI down to 15 at worst yesterday, so a little bit of a positive reaction helped. I suppose in our dreams we'd be looking for that gap there around 6 pence to be filled, but it's a bit too early to go for that at this stage. Stock which I covered a while back, and it's consolidated, basically noticing that break of resistance there at 43 pence, and the bull flag above resistance, which tends to be a good signal. So Orcadian breaking to the upside and almost hit the top of that channel that I drew before. Could get up to 65 pence by the end of next month, while we hold the gap, the floor of the gap there at 49, and ideally we just go straight up towards the 65 level over the next couple of weeks or so. Anything Russian, obviously rather difficult at the moment and not very popular either. But here we've got Petropavlovsk, another falling knife situation. I could have chosen many, obviously Eyebrows, etc. But here we've got the chance of the shares bouncing, at least in the near term, back from a very oversold level around RSI 11, maybe heading back towards the support on the way down around 4 pence as a best case scenario target at the moment. But obviously this is a falling knife situation and not easy. One of the more disappointing situations of the year to date was obviously Synergen. Here we've got a situation where there's the consolidation at the lows. We've got the higher low so far, which is versus the low of the 21st of February, which was obviously one of the more painful days in recent stock market history. Here we've broken a line of near-term line of resistance, and still got that target there at the bottom of the gap at 37 pence as a best case scenario. Just fell shy of it on the initial bounce, but 37 still on tap while we hold above yesterday's low at 16 pence. But the ideal scenario is that we have an end of day close above yesterday's high at 26 pence and then go up to 37 pence from that. Finishing off with a stock which is relatively new to the market, but I think they had a offtake and agreement announced. Not the greatest of liquidity situations, but I suppose initial resistance here on sovereign metals around 27, and then back hopefully to the highs near 31 pence or 32 pence after that. But the gap off the low on that news, a very helpful development, and those tend to be quite bullish, especially when they've followed in the wake of a gap down. So an bear trap island reversal could be what we're looking at there. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.